Hello everyone and welcome to this afternoon's webinar for your induction to our supply chain cross-company mentoring programme. Thank you for taking the time out this afternoon to understand how you can get the most value out of this programme. And before we start, it's always good to introduce ourselves. So hello, I am Vicky Coleman, Engagement Manager for all of our people programmes at IGD. And within my role, that really encompasses engaging with the individuals who look after learning within their organisation, so that we can drive as much awareness and engagement across all of our free people programmes as possible. And I also look after our mentoring programmes, which include our supply chain cross-company programme and also our inclusion and diversity programme, which we're scoping out at the moment. I'm joined by my colleague Robin, who's also going to introduce himself.
Thanks, Vicky, and hello, everybody. As Vicky mentioned, my name is Robin, and I am the Free Learning Project Coordinator here at IGD. So my role really encompasses the delivering of the programmes and the webinars that we have on offer. I also deal with the delegate communication, and that means that I'm also your main point of contact. So if you have any questions or concerns relating to our mentoring programme, you are not alone. We're here to help you. Okay, thanks. So before we get started, just a couple of techie points just on the platform. If you haven't used GoTo before, so we have at the top on your control panel, you can open and close the panel using the orange button at the top. You are all in listen only mode, but if you're like in a loud room or your sound's not particularly marvelous, if you click in audio and click onto phone call, you can dial in and listen to it that way. We have a question pane at the bottom that you can see. So if you do have any questions for us, or if you have any technical difficulties, just pop it in there and we'll be able to help you out. And you'll be able to see there's a hand raising button as well at the bottom. So we may ask you to use that later on in the session. Okay.
Fabulous, thank you, Robin. So what are we going to cover today? So first of all, I would like to give you a brief introduction to IGD and who we are, a good reminder for those that have been with us a few times through the mentoring programme, but also for those who are newer to our offer. Next, we'll be covering the programme overview. So what's involved, what do those roles and responsibilities look like, and also talking you through the matching process and how we do that back at IGD. And finally, we'll be looking at those key next steps. So I'm sure you'll be thinking about that first meeting, which will be coming up. We'll cover off the timeline for the breadth of the programme and also the support and kind of next steps that are coming more short term down the track. And we will finish with a Q&A, so please feel free to jot down any questions, anything that you want us to go over again or wasn't quite clear or that we just haven't covered, then please do jot that in the questions pane and we'll come to that at the end of the session. So starting off with the IGD introduction. So at IGD, we are an organisation of two interconnected communities. So we have a commercial insight side to IGD, which is our trading company, and we reinvest all of the profit into the social impact that we deliver. And together we are working to drive change that makes a tangible difference to society, business, and the individual. And again, the supply chain mentoring programme firmly sits within our social impact side of our offer. In terms of our social impact ambition, which you'll see on the slide, again, it's about making a positive difference to society by working with the food and consumer goods industry. So we want to address and come together in a non-competitive space to look at the issues that matter to us all across economic, social, and environmental issues. And we do this in a couple of different ways, three to be precise. So one is around collaborations. This is really about bringing the industry and bringing companies together to share those learning perspectives and build up our collective best practice. Second is about knowledge. So we conduct our own primary research and deliver insight all around tangible actions that you and your businesses can take to move forward. And finally, it's about creating industry-wide practical programs that you can tap into. And again, as you can see, the supply chain cross-company mentoring program sits within that third area. And again, across the social impact, we have 4 key areas of focus that we work on at IGD. So one is around people development. The second is health and healthy, sustainable diets. The third is sustainable futures. And the fourth is around economics. And as I say, we've got a really unique position within the industry to convene different stakeholders to address these issues that are really important to us across the industry in a non-competitive space. And finally, just to cover off on the people side of things, we really do want to build the knowledge and the skills of the people working across our industry so that we can foster a really inclusive and productive workforce. So all of our free programs, including the supply chain cross-company program, really do fit under this key ambition for what the work that we do. Okay, so hopefully that was a nice introduction to IGD and a nice reminder for those of you that have been with us for a while. I'm now going to move into the program information. So again, what's involved, those key roles and responsibilities, and talk about the matching process. So our IGD cross-company e-mentoring program for supply chain individuals is really unique. It's like no other program. So, you know, it's inside your industry, but outside of your organization. So we really do offer the opportunity for you to speak with other people who are talking the same language as you and facing similar challenges and issues. And it's a really unique opportunity to have those truly open and honest conversations with someone outside of your business about career development. And on this next slide, we're just going to show you some key stats from the program. You know, we've got a really strong alumni now. Over 1,400 people have gone through our cross-company supply chain program since we started back in 2013. And over 70 businesses continue to engage across the offer. And as you can see in the 2 purple boxes, last year, 95% of the people that went through the program told us that they really enjoyed the experience. And 91% agreed that this learning intervention contributed to their personal development, which is absolutely what we're trying to do with our free learning program. So you are in good company. How does it all work? So as I say, it's a free and unique opportunity for supply chain talent to have a mentor from a different businesses from the food and consumer goods industry. We pair people up, mentoring partnerships are made up of 2 individuals, again, from non-competing businesses. And it's really about supporting that knowledge and skills development of the mentee. And what we're trying to do here is really help our rising talent in the industry to lead collaboratively in an ever-changing world. And finally, all of the connections that you'll be making, and again, I'll talk through this when we look at the kind of how-to a bit later on, all of your connections will be made virtually. So when you meet with each other, it will be in a virtual space. And the partnership will last for an 8-month period. So Robin is going to talk through the program timeline, but it will last from April to November. And we do recommend throughout the program that you connect with each other regularly. So a rhythm of about every month or every 6 weeks, just so that you can keep the focus on those conversations. So in terms of what the program can offer you, it's a really great opportunity to gain that total chain experience from other people from different parts of the customer supply chain. And it's a really good development opportunity, not only for the mentees, but for mentors going through this program. Now, hopefully it's obvious in terms of what the program isn't, but I am going to cover this on the next slide. Can you move me on? Sorry, Robin. Thank you. So the cross-company mentoring program is not a way to find out what competitors are doing, or to develop a trading relationship, or to poach candidates from another business. So I want to be really clear up front. This is a collaborative program focused on skill development, and it is not, as I say, a way to find out what competitors are doing, build a relationship, or poach any candidates. So I want to be very clear about that up front. So I'm now going to move on to roles and responsibilities, and we'll start off with the mentor. So again, a mentor is an experienced and trusted advisor who's going to use their gained knowledge and experience throughout their career to help someone perhaps less experienced or more junior to develop their skills and progress. And really the mentor can offer that outside perspective, but again, within the same context of the food and consumer goods industry. And they are actively giving up their time. So this is a fantastic opportunity to work with somebody in the mentor role who's really looking out to want to share their knowledge and experience. And really, the mentor is about encouraging the mentee to get the best out of them. So drawing out on those skills and building on their goals that they have in terms for their personal development. And a mentor will listen. They will provide encouragement, they will offer advice and that different perspective on either a problem, a challenge, an opportunity, or a goal that the mentee has, and really share some information and ideas to help the mentee progress towards those development goals that will be agreed between you. So we'll now move on to the benefits of mentoring through this programme, and there are lots. So it doesn't just sit with the mentee who's going to reap all the benefits. So, you know, in this role, you've got a great opportunity to nurture talent and grow someone else's capability, which is a really big feel-good factor. You can practice those challenging and coaching conversations with your mentee and gain insights to kind of benchmark what good looks like from what you perceive. You get to share knowledge in different ways and use your feedback as a tool to get your mentee to shift their behaviour and progress toward their goals. And also think beyond the behaviour that you might observe within your company. So I'm now going to move on to the mentee. So again, this is somebody who is really actively looking to grow their personal development. They've put themselves forward to take the opportunity of having a mentor, and they'll be really willing to learn from the experience of their mentor and accept the feedback that's given to them so that they can learn and grow. And really it's about making the most of these potential career and skills opportunities by working with their mentor. Just bear with me, sorry. And so the mentee will take responsibility for their developments. This is, again, first and foremost, their opportunity to really progress. So they should be the person that makes the first contact. So once Robin shared the details of who you're partnered with, we expect the mentee to reach out and make that first initial hello and schedule the first meeting and those to follow. Again, the mentee, it's about your development, so you'll be driving those actions in between meetings that you've agreed between you and prepare in advance for those meetings. So I'll talk a bit more about what that looks like in a moment with regards to the first session, but it's really thinking about what are your career ambitions and your development goals that you think your mentor can help you achieve. And in terms of the mentee benefits, again, there are many. So really it's about your personal development and boosting those confidence, skills and knowledge that you have, and doing that through an external lens. Really helping to recognise what your strengths are and where your development needs are, and get that wider, broader understanding of the supply chain. So again, being paired with someone who is a bit more experienced than you, but also potentially from different parts of the supply chain, or who have had a career that's mixed through different parts of the supply chain. It's a confidential space to reflect and grow. So again, there's you know, it's being able to have those open and honest conversations with someone outside your business and practice your interpersonal skills by working with a new person that you're going to be building a relationship with. So moving on to our matching process. So we do this based on the information that you've provided us through the registration form. So first and foremost, we really look to match people from a non-competitor business. But again, this is based on the information that we are given. So if you have any concerns at any point that you are paired with someone who is either a current competitor or could be in the future, please just contact us and then we can look at rematching you. We also look at the skills the mentor is offering and feel that they can provide support on, and really aligning those with where mentees have asked for support and skills development, so that those align and we're matching people based on what they've said they can offer and where they want to develop. And finally, it's about experience in role. So we really aim to pair people with the next level up so that you've got a really close link to where you want to go with your career. And as I say, if we've got really good success rate of matching people up, but if there are any bits of information that we haven't had sight of, for example, you might have worked with each other in the past, you might feel your levels are perhaps a bit too similar, or there is a competitor issue, there's no problem at all. Just let us know as soon as you can, and then we will look to rematch you. So I'm sure you're all thinking about your first meeting. What does it look like? What should we be talking about? And what does that entail? So I'm going to cover the next steps section now. So we'll look at that first meeting, and then I'll hand over to Robin, who's going to talk about the timeline and your next steps. So really the first meeting is all about getting to know each other. So it's about building a really strong foundation so that you can have an open and honest relationship with each other across the mentoring program. And it's also a great time to put that structure in place in terms of how you want to work together over the 8-month period. So in terms of preparation, really come prepared to answer and talk about who you are and what you do, what your background is. So how long have you been in the industry, and how long have you been in supply chain, and what does that career look like? And in terms of the mentor, so it's really about how you can support and guide your mentee. So what are you bringing to the offer and bringing to the table as part of this relationship? And for the mentee, it's really thinking about in advance, what are some of those goals that you have in mind that you want to use this mentoring relationship to really help you progress against. Now, Robin will cover the support provided. There is a lot more information and tools and templates coming in the form of a mentoring guide for both mentors and mentees. But if you are a mentee and you're struggling to articulate what those goals are, we do have some content to help you do that in advance. But also you might want to use your first meeting to talk that through with your mentor. If you're a little bit unclear, perhaps they can help you identify what those goals are as well. And before the first meeting, it really is a responsibility of the mentee to make that initial contact. So after this webinar, once Robin sent you out all of your contact information, we expect the mentee to reach out to their mentor, to say hello, introduce themselves, and suggest some times that might work for you to have that first meeting. And I would recommend that first meeting is an hour, so that you can really build that relationship and cover all of the topics that I've mentioned. And in terms of the structure part of this conversation, it's really about ways of working going forward. So what is the best way to contact each other? I appreciate some people going through this program are quite senior and might have a PA, so getting their contact information to schedule through that contact might be best. How often would you like to meet? Again, we recommend monthly or every 6 weeks, but this is so that the conversation is regular and it keeps focus for the mentee. And also which platform might work best for you. So some companies I know don't use certain platforms, or they're banned. So really do find something that works for you both, that you know you can log into and see each other and talk as you would like to. And make a log of your discussion and any action points that have been agreed. Again, I would say that the mentee should really be driving this, just so you know what you can take forward and what you're going to be working on in between your meetings. So I'm now going to pass back over to Robin. As I said, he's going to cover the timeline, the next steps in terms of coming down the tracks in the next couple of weeks, and also the support and further support you can get from IGD, and then we'll come back for our Q&A. So over to you, Robin.
Thanks, Vicky. Well, as I mentioned in the introduction today, I am your main point of contact throughout this program. So I just thought I'd share with you what's coming up next. So as you can see, this is our timeline, and we are right at the start here in March. Throughout this 8-month program that Vicky's already mentioned, we're going to be having some regular check-ins with some formal feedback requested in June and at the end in November. The purpose really for all this feedback is to measure the effectiveness of the course, to gather more information to help drive future developments, and to capture social impact outcomes. So in terms of what to expect next, after the Easter break on the 6th of April, you will receive an email that will have your partner details on it. In addition to that, you will also have the handbook with just some further information, some guidance, links to relevant free learning resources from our on-demand learning hub, along with a recording of this session. So if you've missed anything, don't worry, you will be able to catch up on it. And in a month after that, in May, we are going to be having a check-in with you, and that's really just to make sure that contact has been made. So mentees, it is your responsibility to get in touch with your mentor, but to the mentors out there, if you haven't heard within the first week or so, do reach out and get that ball rolling. That is also an opportunity at that check-in to let us know how things are getting on. Like as Vicky mentioned before, if you do have any concerns over having worked with the person before, whether you're at a similar level or whether there are competition issues that we just aren't aware of, please get in touch and we'll be able to find an alternative for you. So just looking here at support, you're not on your own. At IGD, we are here to offer you support throughout this program. So we will resolve any issues that may occur, as I alluded to beforehand. We're going to be monitoring the program effectiveness through our feedback check-ins, and we're going to be updating your company sponsors just with how things are coming along. And that now kind of brings us towards the end of our webinar today. Now, I really hope this has been a great introduction to our e-mentoring program for 2021 and has provided you with lots of useful information. But most importantly, I hope that it's got you excited to get started and that you really want to crack on and get ready for those emails on the 6th of April. So this is now your turn to ask us any questions. So please, can you enter questions into the question pane and we'll get through as many as possible. Or if you would like to ask a question directly to either myself or to Vicky, just raise your virtual hand and I'll unmute you and away you go. Okay, so the floor is all yours. Thank you.
Great stuff. Thank you, Robin.
Okay. Right, let's see what we've got. So I do have to have a look at the questions. Oh, will the presentation be sent out? Yes, they will be. Would you be sharing the slides? There we go. We've answered all of those questions. I do have a hand raised. So if you, hang on, let's just find this person. Where is he? Okay, that's gone now. So we did have a raised hand, but they've changed their mind, which is perfectly acceptable. Okay, so we do have a question here. So somebody is excited, so thank you very much. How does the matching draw work, and when will this be shared?
Absolutely. So as I said, everybody who comes through the programme in either a mentor or a mentee role will have completed the registration form. So we've got all of the information that you have provided to us before the programme starts. We use this information to find you a good match. So the matching is first and foremost based on a non-competitor match based on the information that we have. It's also based on the mentees' areas for development that they've highlighted through the options that we've given, and a match being made and aligning to the mentor who is offering support, marrying up and aligning with the same areas that the mentee has identified. And then also the third layer is looking at the next level up. So really making sure we're not pairing people with sort of too far a leap with somebody sort of too far from where they are now in a mentee role. So a couple of different ways that we do it. As Robin mentioned, we'll be sharing who your partner is on the 6th of April after the Easter break. This will be sharing the name, email address, I think telephone number for your mentoring partner. But again, in that email going out to the mentee, we will highlight that it is your responsibility to move forward and make that initial contact. Now, I would just say don't stand on ceremony. If mentors who are listening in, if your mentee hasn't made contact within a couple of weeks, please do reach out to them. We'd rather that contact is made and you guys get the ball rolling, but hopefully your mentee should make that first step in terms of emailing you and saying hello.
Okay, great. I can see that Beatrice Santos has her hand up, so just bear with me 1 second on that front. We did have a very quick question where somebody asked, which I'd be able to answer, on what happens if we has anybody not been paired. So we have tried really hard to pair everybody, and anybody who we have not, it's a very small amount who we haven't found a pair at this moment, have been notified. So everybody on this call should have a partner that'll be coming through. I'm now going to come to Beatrice. So Beatrice, I'm just going to unmute you, and then the floor is all yours. Okay, you're unmuted.
Okay. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Do you have a kind of guide of different topics that we can cover on our conversations?
Absolutely. So really great question. So yes, there's lots more support coming for you. So again, on Tuesday, I think it's the 6th, Robin will share the mentoring partner details with you, and in that email will be a link to we've got a version for mentors and a version for mentees, a handbook that goes along with the program. So this is a comprehensive handbook for you throughout the program. So it's kind of your Bible, if you like, and your first port of call. And there are tools, templates, reiterations of the timeline, what's expected of everybody throughout the program, and also links to further free learning content that we feel is very relevant to each of the roles. So just to give an example here, for the mentors, we link to some coaching conversation webinars that we've got in there, and for the mentees, there's content around building confidence and setting goals.
Okay,
but yes, you'll have lots more tools.
Thank you.
That's great. Questions are coming through. Somebody did say that they're going to be away for the first couple of weeks in April, and will that be a problem? Please don't worry about that. The benefit, one of the big benefits of our mentoring program is that you have flexibility between April and November. So when we check in May, the sole reason for that is to make sure that contact's been made. So you still have plenty of time after you return to get in touch. But thank you for letting us know. Let's
Absolutely.
see what else.
And I would just say, if you're in a mentor role, if that person has asked the question, you're in a mentor role, your mentee should be reaching out to you anyway. So hopefully when you come back, you'll come back to that email in your inbox. But if it is the mentee role, then obviously once you come back, you can just note that, you know, I've been away, so it's not that I haven't wanted to make contact, but I've been out of the business. So that's absolutely fine.
We've got a couple of people here looking forward post lockdown. As lockdown and laws change, is it strictly non-physical if both parties would prefer to meet in the flesh in August, September?
So we would all of our free learning for last year and for this year is staying virtual. So that's a decision that we've made at IGD across the social impact and commercial insight activities. So that is our recommendation. You are your own people. If you both feel comfortable and confident in line with the government guidelines, then that is your decision. But our recommendation is that it stays virtual for this year.
Let's just see. Somebody has asked what the ratio of mentor to mentor will be. Do you want to take this one, Vicky?
Yeah.
They want to know whether it's like 1-to-1 or whether there's multiple people per mentor.
Yeah, go for it.
So the straightforward answer to that one is it is 1-to-1. So you will have, if you're a mentor, you will have one mentee and vice versa.
Nice and simple. Two-way
Exactly.
conversation.
Yes. Right. Yeah, somebody has asked, will any of the content discussed between mentors and mentees be shared with the companies, or is it all confidential?
It's all confidential, so nobody is listening in on your conversations. It's the notes are your notes, and it is a confidential space. And again, in the guide that will be sent out to you on the 6th with your pairing information, we do cover confidentiality in that guide. So absolutely agree between you if there's anything that you want to share further than this conversation, but it is confidential between you two.
I think going through the questions again, social distancing rules have picked up. General, that I think we've actually pretty much covered it. Obviously, if you do have any other questions, they will appear when we go through this after the session. So if a question on there hasn't been answered, don't worry, we can get to it and respond accordingly. But Vicky, do you have any final words?
Yeah, thank you, Robin. Yes, so again, hopefully today was a good way to induct everybody onto the programme. I think we've had over 120 of the individuals from this year dial in live today. So you've got lots of fellow mentors and mentees on the line and going through the programme with you this year. As we say, the guide will have a lot more information. So please do have a read of that, make sure you're comfortable. And if you've got any questions, Robin is here using the learning@igd.com email address. So you can contact us anytime if you still have any questions or concerns that come up at any point throughout your mentoring partnership. When the webinar closes today, there'll just be, I think, 2 or 3 feedback questions just to sense check on a couple of points. So please do fill that in, because it really does help us continue to develop and grow and make the experience even better year on year. If there's nothing else, I think it was lovely to welcome you all for the 2021 Supply Chain Cross Company Mentoring Programme, and we look forward to working with you over the next